enjoying the day like they always do in their happy household. Moments later, her father, Pa, and another officer arrived. Pa works as an officer of the Khmer National Armed Forces. He expresses regret for trusting the Americans. Now that they are pulling out, Pa and his family are now in danger as Khmer Rouge forces, the brutal communist insurgents, are en route to their city. Long is with her sister Cho outside their house as Cambodian soldiers arrive and are welcome in the city. Their brother asks them to go inside as the Khmer Rouge draws near, and violence may happen without warning. The soldiers demand unity as they believe that it's about time to unite now that the Americans are not there anymore. Before Long can get inside, she gets a glimpse of the Khmer Rouge representative entering the area. They are in full combat gear and ready to kill. They immediately arrest all Cambodian soldiers despite the soldiers' peaceful intention. All families are then instructed to leave the city as refugees, threaten that the city will be bombed by the Americans. Long's family starts to pack. They are to leave the not so important belongings and bring the most important ones only. She can see how worried her father is as they have no clue what's out there. If he gets caught working for the government, he will be killed, and the rest of the family will have to continue to survive without him. Her family leaves the city on their truck together with the rest of the residents, uncertain of what the future holds. They spend the night on the side of the road, tired and hungry. Their sleep is cut short when a rebel asks them to get up and get their things from the truck. Their truck will be used by the communists in the war. The Khmer Rouge forces soldier sees Pa's watch and demands Pa give it to him immediately. When the Khmer Rouge soldier finds out that the watch is expensive, he begins to suspect Pa works for the government. The rebel speaks to Pa in French in an effort to catch him lying. Pa denies that he works for the government and pretends that he does not understand what the rebel is saying. He then proceeds to leave the truck together with his family. That was a close call. After days of walking, Long's family arrives at a labor camp set up by the Khmer Rouge soldiers. They are required to register their names, surrender their belongings, and declare their profession. Those who work for the government are immediately segregated. They will be executed. Pa tells them that he works as a packer at the shipping port. Once the family is admitted, Long gets to witness the brutality of the Communist Party. Even the monks are forced to work in the rice field like animals. As Long's family adjusts to the new norm at the camp, they come across her uncle Liang heading their way. That gives everyone a sense of hope as they get to live with Liang's family instead of living along with the other refugees. Liang supports the rebels, thus being given the freedom to work and live in his place. Long is surprised to see that her uncle's family is so poor. Her father reminds her that they are now destitute as well and that social status does not matter anymore. They are here to survive. At night, Long overhears her auntie expressing her concern that they will also be killed if the rebels find out that Pa is a captain. She is distraught that her entire family will be harmed by this. Long explains that he can't just abandon her sister and her family. The next day, Long's family has no other choice than to leave her uncle's family. Another long and painful journey awaits the family. After days of walking, Long's family gets to rest, waiting for the rebels' trucks to arrive. They are exhausted but giving up is out of the question. They are then taken to another labor camp where they are to build their own shelter from scratch, and the food is very scarce. The remainder of their belongings is confiscated as these are not acceptable to the party as they believe that foreign possessions corrupt the people in their country. Even life-saving medicine is prohibited. As if hard labor is not enough, the Khmer Rouge forces soldiers also constantly preach their propaganda, brainwashing the refugees to work even more challenging for the party. One night, a refugee is confronted by the officers of the rebels as he is caught using Western medicine for his child, who is very sick. He is desperate to save his baby's life. He apologizes multiple times, but the officers refuse to give him a pass. He is then arrested, tied behind his back, and later on, executed. Long, along with the other children, crosses a long footbridge to go to the other side and fetch some water. Long notices a dead body along the way. The children stop and look at who the deceased person is. He was a refugee who got caught using Western medicine for his sick child. Long's sister is caught secretly eating some beans due to hunger. The rebel who saw her warns of much brutal punishment if she is caught again. Long and the rest of the family bid goodbye to Long's oldest brothers and oldest sister as they were reassigned to other labor camps. There's no way to tell what tiles ahead to the other camps. She would soon die of starvation. Long knows that she might not get to see them again. Back at their house, the family shares their little food, even to the point of sharing cooked insects as their meal. This is their new life now. The children can only imagine what they'd be devouring once they are back at their home in the city. Even Ma joins in as they fantasize about what they will be getting once the war is over and everything is back to normal. Long's father is asked by the rebels to help repair a bridge nearby. He is not prepared to abandon his family yet, but that's the only option if he wants to live. With a heavy heart, he says goodbye to his family. He tells his wife to remain strong for the children. They can't afford to show weakness. Pa then joins the rebels as they go to the bridge. One night, Long's younger sister has a severe stomachache due to extreme hunger. She is in so much pain and in need of something to eat. Her brother can't stand watching her sister suffer and decides to take the risk. He needs to help her. He then goes outside and heads outside to look for food. Long follows her brother outside to help him as well. Later on, her brother is caught and is beaten by one of the rebels. He is warned that he'd be killed if he is caught stealing again. Long's brother returns to their shelter bleeding. He apologizes for failing to find food. This breaks the heart of their mother. In a desperate attempt to save her children, Ma tells them to escape their current camp and go in different directions until they reach the next working camp. They are also to pretend that they are orphans so that the labor camps will take them in. They are then instructed not to provide their real names. The reason behind going their separate ways is to ensure that in case they are caught, they will not be seen together. Ma can't afford to lose all of them at once. The siblings say their little prayer in the mountain and then go their separate ways. Long and her sister brave the mountain together until they reach another camp. Long explains to the rebels that they are orphans and in need of a camp to stay. They are taken in, given enough food, and forced to listen to the rebels' propaganda. The next day, they begin working in the rice field. Long's attention is called as she is recruited to be a child soldier for the rebels. The Vietnamese forces are closing in, and the rebels need all the help they can get. She bids her sister goodbye. She then learns to fight, shoot, and prepare traps. She also gets to know how mines work and why they need to use them. They are also always taught propaganda and bitter hatred against the Vietnamese, but they get more food and are treated better than workers in other labor camps. Being able to perform well during training, Long is given a day pass to visit her sister in the labor camp. She chooses to go to the camp where her mother and youngest sister are staying. She finds their hut empty, and an old woman tells her that her family was taken away by the Khmer Rouge soldiers. Back at the labor camp, the children soldiers are given final instructions before they are sent to fight against the Vietnamese. They are also being reminded how to use the gun. They are told not to let their guard down. Time to put their training to the test. At night, the Vietnamese forces start attacking the camp. Long is devastated to find out that the camp is already on fire. She looks for her sister, but she's nowhere to be found. She is not certain if her sister is alive or dead. She then joins the rest of the refugees to check for a safer camp to stay. Long is then reunited with her brother and sister. They all made it out alive. They then prepare a snake as their meal and share the food with the other children. Moments later, their temporary camp is attacked by the Vietnamese. A battle ensues, and the children are trapped in the middle. Some are killed in the crossfire. Long uses this opportunity to slip behind the defending Vietnamese to escape the fighting and hide in the mountain. Long, along with the other refugees, runs for her life into the jungle. She witnesses firsthand how some refugees are seriously injured or wounded from the mines she helped set up before. She carefully watches her step as she moves away from the battlefield. This time, she is separated from her siblings again. Later on, Long reaches another refugee camp, where she is reunited with her other siblings. This camp is run by the Red Cross. After what they went through, they deserve to be safe here until the war is over and everyone is out of danger. A commotion ensues as a captured Khmer Rouge soldier is taken to the camp where angry refugees are waiting for him to be executed. Frustrated that the government is slow in take turns in beating him, Long sees the prisoner as her father and cries out, "Pa," to the prisoner. The beating is then put to stop. Long's emotional breakdown saves the life of the rebel. The refugees leave the man behind. Long approaches the